What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today, well, I see a lot of images come across my DMs on Discord, and one of them really looked funny. They sent me a little screenshot of probably one of the worst mistakes you could do on an early game account, looking at their account, and on top of that, they got probably one of the best luck in the entire game. So if you guys have ever had something like this happen to you on your alt account or anything like this, let me know. And beyond that, for those of you guys that might be newer to the game, don't do what you're about to see in this just simple image file showing someone's 6 hero lineup in the game. It's not a good look. It's definitely mistakes I made when I first started the game way back in like 2018 at this point. Absolutely crazy. Hopefully you guys enjoy this and maybe you learned something from it. Leave a comment down below if you've hit something crazy like this as well. Let's jump right into it. So this right here is the image somebody sent me on Discord. Yeah. Well, I couldn't tell you a more crazy grouping of bad decisions and god tier luck in the same image file. In case you guys did not know, this right here, you see this? You might actually not know who it is because, well, most people probably don't, but if you actually come over to like a regular copy of, where is he? Yeah, we got Asmodeus. We actually got plenty of them. If you actually come over to the skins, it's one of the skins you never really used to see that often, but it is the Frozen Heart. It's essentially the Lich King from World of Warcraft in the form of a skin. It's like a mix of the Lich King and Tyrael. Like literally, if you took both those heroes, shoved them onto Asmodeus, that's exactly what you see here. Now, what that means is this person has a very early game account, but they have been lucky enough. You'll notice there's no awakenings on anything else besides Aspen. They hit an A+ on their hero. So not only are they probably like some weird just person having fun with the game, playing free to play, they probably don't realize they have a copy that's worth a couple $1,000s. Because again, if we go check in game to see what they actually look like right now, let me actually just change over so we got full screen here. If we take a look at the auction house here, I don't know why. Oh, I hate how these new menus do that. Like, you have to click the X. You can't hit escape or anything. If we take a look and see what the prices are for, like, Asmodeus. Now, Asmodeus is one of the cheaper ones out there, but still, even if you're getting, like, an A+ copy, chances are it's probably worth, I mean, anywhere between, what, $1,000 and $3,000, depending on how you get it. And on top of that, this is an account that has someone that has no clue what they have. Now, granted, it's not, like, a very high demand copy. If this was an A+ of, like, a Vulcan or an Aspen, that would be absolutely insane. But how many of you guys have actually done something like this where your main account is struggling, you just can't hit like anything good, and then all of a sudden on one of your alt accounts you hit it on something really stupid because you're just going for like the sublimation chest or something and you just need hero copies to awaken and you use up all of your luck and hit it on an Asmodeus. So that's the first part. Let me know if you guys have ever had anything like that happen to you. I'd love to hear if you have. Part number 2 is there are a lot of mistakes that you can see being made just from this one screenshot. Building up heroes in the meantime that you're not planning to bring to E5 is a really bad idea. The only exception I will say is the Aspen. Building up 1 light and 1 dark hero in the early game to a 9-star isn't the worst thing in the world because you're not wasting food on them. And you still, even to this day, you don't use light and dark heroes for food for other heroes to E5 unless you're like a whale or something like that. But even then, usually you're saving those up. What you are making a big problem is, number 1, not going for really great heroes in general unless these are going to be food heroes, which then in that case maybe it's fine. Arania I still wouldn't turn into food personally. You never know. She might become useful as Bloodtide Queen Arania someday. We'll have to see. But I do see this common mistake happening on a lot of early game accounts. I mean, personally, even back in the day, I did. I think my original account, I wish I had a screenshot from way back in the day. I had built a full account of like 9-star Rangers on my account. So I can literally quote you what I used to have, and they were all 9 stars. I think what I had built, I don't think I had any shadow heroes. I had... oh man, I had an Ice Blink because again, he was a ranger. So I had a 9-star Ice Blink. I know my main hero was a 9-star queen that I was building up. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made, ever made, is I had a 9-star Valkyrie way back early in the day. Like, I'm talking about right after she came out. And I literally fed the 9-star Valkyrie once I found out you're only supposed to build one hero to E5 at a time. And I took that Valkyrie and I fed it to a queen to make her 10-star, and eventually my first E3 and then future E5 hero, because this was all before E5 was even a thing. It was still E3 was the highest max. I eventually converted her over to a King Barton, but there were some bad decisions made. I think I even had Michelle built, because again, she was a ranger. Really bad decisions. And really, when I just take a look at this image file here, it just shouts this was me in the early game. Seeing that on tier list, you know, Holmes Young, Vesa, they're good heroes as Transcendent, so you think to build them here, but you just make so many mistakes. And I'd love to hear your guys' stories about what happened to you too, because I feel like I'm not the only one. It took me a while before I started looking at Reddit, before I joined the Discord, before I jumped on YouTube and discovered, well, one of the most fun series I've ever seen, which was Wrath of God Gaming at the time. It was just, he was my inspiration to just have fun with the game and not play too serious, which is why I built a scary army. And you guys can actually go look. If you go check the videos on this channel, check the oldest videos, you can see my original account when I converted away from the King Barton and Queen. I almost said Scarlet Queen Allura. No, this was way before Transcendence Heroes were even a thing. The game has changed so much, but so much of the good advice still rings true of building one hero at a time. So again, I'm gonna jump back in game real quick because we have a perfect example on one of our like free-to-play accounts way down the bottom here. We'll go to like our Holmes Young account down the bottom here just to show you guys an example. It's actually qualified for comeback. That's absolutely crazy. Wow. Anyway, you build up one single hero at a time. You don't bother wasting food, and actually this ended up being a really bad example because I think I destroyed everything on that account. But we have so many accounts that we've had fun on over the years, but still the same thing rings true. And this is a good example. You don't go ahead and build any heroes like a Penny, or even like, you know, just some other heroes like a Heart Watcher, anything like that that isn't going to be food. You notice anything on our free-to-play accounts that we do that are even 6-star or above are going to be heroes that are going to be food. There's no point building a hero unless you're planning on bringing that hero to E5 next. Now, there are some situations where that's a little untrue because, of course, in the early game, you know, building like a 9-star carry is not the worst idea. If you're going to do the same thing with a light hero, not the worst idea. And a couple other examples of that are like a 9-star Ignis, because, of course, you might want to have her there for that 100% control immunity and energy gain there. There's a few heroes where that's acceptable, but the main point of this is to make sure you don't make these mistakes, because these mistakes haunt you, because not only are you either have to feed the hero off or you have to regress them. That takes soul symbols, and soul symbols are so worthwhile and worth so much nowadays. Before you could just simply buy them in packages, now you can't anymore. So let me know if either one of these things happen to you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.